Hi everyone, I'm doing a book review video this time on Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett. I finished this at some point over the weekend, I can't actually remember when, and this came in my May's Fairyloot book box, so I'm currently up to date, woohoo! Which is fantastic. And this is a fantasy story following Kate and Corwin in a world where magic is outlawed for some users and okay for those officials, and life's hard because if you go outside of a protected area at night, you'll get ripped apart by night drakes. Yay, lovely. I think I really did like this book. I did feel it was starting to drag a little bit towards like the last third, but there was a lot to get through and there was a lot to explain before we could get to the big crisis at the end of the book. My drawback, though, would be that this is the first in a series. Now, whether it's a duology or a trilogy, I don't know, but I was really hoping this was going to be a standalone, purely based on the size of this thing. This is nearly 500 pages. And I kind of like thought, oh yeah, I'll get a nice decent story in here. Yeah, I get a nice decent story in here. It's just not finished up at all, and it sets up events for the next book, obviously, as well. But I didn't feel cheated like some books do. Kate is our main lead character. She's independent, she's feisty, and she is harbouring a dark past, really, that's not her fault. She is suffering because of the actions of her father, and it seems in this world the sins of the parents pass on to the children and you can't get away from them. So unfortunately Kate has had a hard life, trying to just deal with what has happened in her past and get on with just living and surviving, which is not easy because Kate has a big secret. She's a wilder. She can use magic, but it's the wrong kind of magic. This is the magic that is outlawed by the magists, who will hunt down the wilders, purge them of their magic, and then bury them in the ground, leaving them for the night drakes to dig up in the middle of the night and eat. Which is lovely. Very nice. So the big thrust of the story, really, apart from the main plot, is prejudice. There are two groups of magic users in this world. One group is okay, one group is feared and despised and hunted. And it's almost a reflection on minority groups from every possible category you can think of being persecuted because they are something that they cannot help. And I think that was very well written in Onyx and Ivory. I think Mindy did a very good job of expressing how it feels to be hunted down for something you can't help, that's something you didn't choose, that it's just part of you. And the wilders are punished before they've even done anything wrong, so there's quite a big sort of opening there for discussion on preemptive punishment, which could have gone down quite a dark path. Unfortunately, it's a YA book, so the main plot has to go first. I can't tell you too much about the main plot without actually spoiling the rest of the story. So needless to say, I'm going to tell you that I really enjoyed it, that I thought our two lead characters were well written, their interactions were honest, you could believe they'd had a prior history with each other, and the romance that does blossom is pretty okay. I'm not a huge fan of the romancy thing, but it made sense. These guys knew each other previously, that they were going to draw close again. That was inevitable. I also really enjoyed the supporting characters in here. We don't get to see them very much because obviously the story is being told from Kate and Corwin's point of view. But Boomer and her best mate, whose name has completely escaped me at the moment, and I'm really sorry. They are decent, loyal friends, and I really liked them actually. They had their own mysteries and secrets to them as well, which you'll discover as you read. But I really liked that they were true to Kate throughout, no matter what, no matter who, that they stuck by her. And I really like that. It's quite rare, I think, to find characters that are written well, but also don't come across as like, you're just loyal for the sake of being loyal. No, these guys are actually genuinely nice people, which is really pleasant to read. The antagonist in this book, I can't tell you again too much without massively spoiling it, but I felt that we weren't aware of the big confrontational guy until very, very, almost far too late in the book, which is a shame. But I'll be interested to see how they take that role in the next book. Otherwise, unless you want me to divulge big old spoilers, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good adventure story, good fantasy. The world was well drawn. There was a nice history to everywhere we went. And everything kind of held together logically for me. There wasn't necessarily a jump in the, well, why are you suddenly doing that? It's like, no, that makes logical sense. There is a progression here throughout the story. So yeah, it flowed really well for me. So Onyx and Ivory, have you read it? What did you think? Have I missed anything in particular? Please let me know. I will say, if you like fantasy books, but you're kind of put off by the romance, don't worry about it. The romance is not too heavy or anything. It's not forced. It's just there. Don't worry about it. And there are moments in Onyx and Ivory that deal with female issues, and I thought they were very well said, I think is how I'm going to put that. But again, I'm not going to spoil it for you because I want you to discover things like that on your own. As always, my social media links are in the description box down below. You can find me on Goodreads, Twitter and Instagram. Come and say hi. There's a book blog down there somewhere as well if you want to go and say hi on there and find out other ramblings that I do. I am slightly more coherent sometimes, honest. And as always, thank you very much for watching and happy reading. Bye!